Okay, let's talk about shapes, specifically triangles and other polygons. So by sides, triangles can be classified either as equilateral, isosceles, or scalene triangles. In an equilateral triangle, all shapes are the same, all sides have the same length. In an isosceles triangle, there are exactly two sides of the same length, and in a scalene triangle, no sides are the same length. Now, this is important that there are exactly two sides of the same length in an isosceles triangle. So, in these three triangles, this looks like an equilateral triangle because it looks like all three sides are the same. This looks like an isosceles triangle because it looks like two sides are the same length. Now, we cannot classify this as an isosceles triangle. You might say, well, there are two sides that are the same length. However, there are not exactly two sides of the same length. There are three sides. So this has to be an equilateral triangle, this has to be an isosceles triangle, and this has to be a scalene triangle. There is no really playing with words on those ones. There are four different ways to classify a triangle by its angles. You can have an equiangular triangle where all the angles are the same. You can have an acute triangle where all the angles are acute. You could have a right triangle where exactly one angle is a right angle. And you can have an obtuse triangle where exactly one angle is an obtuse angle. In these three triangles, this is an obtuse triangle because it has one obtuse angle. This is a right triangle because it looks like it has one right angle. And this can have two classifications. One, it can be an acute triangle because it has three acute angles, but it can also be an equilateral triangle because it has three, it can be an equiangular triangle because it has three equal angles. Yep. These are the names of polygons. If it has three sides, it's a triangle. 4 sides is a quadrilateral. 5 sides is a pentagon. 6 sides is a hexagon. 7 sides is a heptagon. 8 sides is an octagon. 9 sides is a nonagon. 10 sides is a decagon. 11 sides is a hendecagon. 12 sides is a dodecagon. Really anything bigger than that, let's say a 13-sided polygon would be a 13gon. A 14-sided polygon would be a 14gon. Things like that. So an n-sided triangle is an n-gon. There are special quadrilaterals. Specifically, a square is where all sides and angles are congruent. In a quadrilateral, if the angles are congruent, they will all be right angles. In a rectangle, all we know is that all the angles are congruent. In a parallelogram, you have 2 sets of parallel sides. And in a rhombus is a parallelogram where all the sides are also congruent. Slide. You can also have a kite, where it has 2 sets of congruent adjacent sides. That's important. So in a the thing is that they have to be adjacent. In a rectangle and in a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. In a kite, adjacent sides are congruent. A trapezoid has only 1 set of parallel sides, and if a quadrilateral is regular, and in fact if any polygon is regular, all the sides and angles are congruent. So that goes for all polygons. This is a short video.